Hello, Lovan is speaking, and so today I'm going to explain like what we did with our program, in which type of code and how we did that. I will explain everything. So basically, we made a program for managing a gaming store that provides all the products that are available on your like in the store with their prices, and you can add with their quantities, like at which price you bought them and at which price you should sell them. So this kind of stuff, you can work on it depending on your needs. You can just implement it as you want. That's the basic idea of coding and of programming. Like you can do it as you want. So now we just made a simple thing, like a basic of the thing of the project. So whoever wants like you can just improve it. That's it. So let's start it. So basically, let's say this is the program. Okay, we are at the program here. That's the first layout of the program when you opened, and you have the login page, which has the email and the password. So let's explain something here. Well, there's just one thing to fix over here. We have here we have password. Yeah, password icon. So it's almost password icon. Okay, that was just a mistake. Okay. So here we have an email to enter, and here we have a password. So we have two kind of icons here, and the type of the email has no box decoration, and for the password we made it looks like a box decoration which has some radius at the corners. That's just to have the sample of each one. That's why we did like that. Then you have a submit. Okay, now this page includes login app bar. This is the app bar over here. Then we have a body, which is this white background. It's the body of the scaffold. Okay, then we divided that thing in the column way. Okay, like the first we made it everything look like present in the center over here. You can see we made it everything center, and we put edge dot only. You can do it with edge dot all, but we just made it with edge dot only, so you can have an idea of each border of the edges that you can manually pad it, like just pad it here. The padding is right here, which is 10 for here, 10 for here, 10 for down, 10 for up. That's the thing. That's for the body, of course. For the container, then as we said, we made it everything present in the center. Then we have a child of column, which divide the widgets in column. Okay, so we have something else that says main axis element dot center, which again makes everything present in the center. Then we have a row. Why? Like you can use a row as a children of a child column. What's that the idea for? Like as we said, you can divide widgets on column like that. That's one, that's two, that's three. But what if you want to have two widgets or two things inside one row? So you should use a row division, just like that. You make a row, you give it a children of widget, then you're gonna have, like in this row we use it two icons. So we have image assist of the first icon with some properties over here, and we have second image, which is the password icon with some properties over here. Okay, there is something goes wrong over here. Like this image will be uh, the image would be like just out of the border, like it will be just, let's say it will be over here, okay, or one of them goes over the other one. So to prevent this type of problem, what you should do, you should use expanded. What this expanded do, it's basically preventing the widgets from going out of the body border. Okay, it's exactly like that, preventing the widgets inside the body to go outside the body border. That's what it does. And sometimes you don't need that expanded while the widget is not going out the border, but in case it goes, you should do that. Like let's say for this one, if you don't do the expanded, what will be happen? The email will take all the space, like from here until here. Then where is the space for the password? There's no spot, so it will be like there will be an error that tells this, like tells description about this problem. So to prevent it, you just use expanded. You have used here, here, and here to prevent that kind of problem. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. Okay, we have a sized box, and what's that for? This one is basically giving a space between the wait a second, between these two icons and these two email and passwords. Basically it means between the two rows, it gives a space. Like we have the row, which is this one, that's the first row, which include icon and email and password icon. First row, and the second row include the email and password. So we have a sized box of height 5, which is a space between them. Like if we make it 15 and we save it, you can see there's a bigger space right now. So we just redo it, so that way it's better. That's the use of sized box. It's to give a space in vertical row, as we write here. Let's just delete it and put it at the very first one. Okay, it's to give a space in vertical way. Then what we have is email and password. Okay, it's the same way, but there's something different. Use the sized box, this time at width. What's that for? Let's just make it 0 to see the difference. So now, as you can see, the password and email, it's very close to each other. Even if we remove that border and make it like the email, it will be just complicated. So that's the use of this. We give it 30, so it gives a space in the horizontal way. So in input, to give, like we can just say to give a space in horizontal, just like that. Okay, now it's better. So as we go, we have another sized box for that space. Then we have something called raised button. What's that raised button? Raised button is a button that can be pressed to do some specific functions and some specific things. Okay. Now on press it, what we have is some conditions over here before everything else. Let's explain these conditions. Look, it says if username is equal admin@domain.com. This is just an example. The admin@domain.com is just an example. Like you can later use in database to bring all the admins and all the guests and all the like owners or whatever that's in the environment. You can just use a database to do that, but this is just an example of doing things. We have a condition that says if the username is this and the password is this. So then what you do is we have a navigator dot push. What's that navigator dot push? It means go to another page. Like when you do the submit, as long as the condition is true here, it goes to another page, which is the here. Look, this is just static, it's not changing these things. In material page road, we use that method to go another page. Then we have a builder of context going through welcome page. So there's what we need. So there's something, a class called welcome page. And where's that class? Let's go back. There is no such a class welcome page. So even in down, we don't have welcome page. So, but if we look here, we have another Dart file that's imported, which is admin UI. So here's admin UI.dart. When we go here, there should be a welcome page, which is here. Okay, class welcome page. So right here, when the condition is true, it goes to the welcome page. Okay, that's good. But it goes with some variables. Like it's not just going there. It goes with some variables with it. So what are the variables? They are username and password. These two variables will go with the submit to the welcome page. Well, this to one, ouch, wait a second. Well, this to one are the variables that we will enter inside login page. Like I mean the right side, this one and this one, right side, it is the ones that we entered. So where we entered, if we go back a little bit, here, from here, and from here we're gonna enter it. So where does that come from? From here. Look, again, we are not going to explain the expanded again. So we have a text field. That means we have a file for text. Then we can give some properties for that field, which are keyboard type. It's a text input type.text, which means you can have anything of text. It's here. There are some other properties like email addresses, some passwords, phone numbers, whatever. So we just use it text. Then the important thing is the decoration. So inside decoration, you can have input decoration, which use it to enter the values. Then we have a label text that is this one, this email that you see. And when you enter it, there will be a hint text, enter your email. So the hint text is here, enter your email. Then after that, you're gonna have two processes over here. Otherwise, you use on change it or you use on press it. On submitted, yeah, on submitted. There are these two types. So what's the difference between them? On submitted, it's like when you enter values, it's not gonna assign to the variable that you mention here, string str1. It's not gonna do it unless you press that button. Unless you press that button, then it will be assigned to the variable. But if you just make it on change it, just like that, on change it, so that one is better, because whenever you do something either deleting or adding, it's directly assigning to the variable. And what's the variable? It's right, this one, string str1. So this str1 is the variable, is the thing that we enter over here. So it will be assigned to str1 as a string. Then we make a state, we set a state, and we say username is equal to that str1. Okay, it equals to the str1, but make sure you define the username as a string way before the up over here. You just define it as a string, empty string, and for the password do same, it's better. So that's how you do it. And here the same thing. This is for the password input. Look, we have input decoration again, we have label text, in text, same thing, but here we have border. It's just for knowing that there's some other properties, which is border. You can have outline input border with border radius in a circular way, which is 50. We can change that to rectangular, I think, should we know. So horizontal and vertical also available, yeah. So we just keep it with circular, and then we discussed about on changing. Then this time you should use another string so that they are not will be complicated. So this time we assign the password to the string str2. Then we set a state and say password is equal to str2. You can just work with str2 directly without assigning it to another variable, just like what I did, but it's just kind of simpler way to do it. Okay, that's it here. So let's go back to here. Now we get it how things are going. First we enter the values here, then we make a condition here to see if the admin and the password is correct or not. If it's not, we will have some messages if it's wrong, and if it's right, it will go to another page with handling this email and password. Okay, let's see. Also, just something else to remember, you can use here welcome page. Whatever you want, you can use it here to go with the submit button, so that you can use that variable in the second page. How? You should define the variable at the second page before it. Like this one comes from the second page. This one comes from the second page, and this one comes from the second page too. Look, SE username. Here we have SE username, SE password. We have SE password. Well, logged user. We have logged user. So logged user is admin, of course, because we are just, when it's right, look, when we log in with the admin, like if the condition of admin is true, then the logged user is admin. We can add another if it's the guest is logging or an owner is logging, so you can have another push for another page that's specific for that kind of privilege that you want to give that guy that's logging, whether it's admin or it's owner. You can just manipulate them and manage your system. Okay, now if the admin logs in, so the logged user is admin, so that we can manage that things. Okay, now let's check. If we say admin at domain.com, which is the right thing, and leave password, submit, we're gonna get an error which says username or password is empty. Okay, and if we do something wrong like this, it says username or password is wrong. It's not saying it's empty. So what's that for? If we check the condition, we say if the username and the password is correct, then do the push, which is going to another page. Okay, we leave that for now. We have else if, which means another if this if is not computing. Okay, so what's gonna happen? The username, if the username is empty or the password is empty, this is the symbol of or. So, or the password is empty, then return what? Return login error empty of context. And what's that? That's a predefined function just over here. You can see we have login error and we have login error empty of the build context of course. So you can use such a code just like an alert. Okay, that's voids. Yeah, you can use these voids to show errors as a dialog. So you can just, it's static, the way that you type it, it's just static. You can just change things here. So you're gonna have a void of something, any name, then build context, two semicolons, two brackets, then you're gonna have a variable of alert dialog, then you just type these things, then you're gonna have title and content, which is this. This error is the title and the content is the one at the bottom. Username or password is wrong. So we made it two of them. We have two of them. This one, if it's entered but it's wrong. This one, if it's not entered. So we just call them here. If it's wrong, then login. If it's empty, then login error empty. We're gonna call this one. And if it's wrong, we're gonna call the login error. Okay, then this text, like child text submit, is just this name, this submit. Okay, because the right button is this rectangular thing, and you have a text on it which is submit, and with some other properties when you press it over here. Okay, now let's go to the last thing on this page. If the username and admin and the password is correct, then what's gonna happen? After that, the navigator will push which page. Using material page road, it will compute the welcome page. So what's the welcome page? The welcome page is from admin UI. And as we said, how we got that works, this class, using importing admin UI on the top, just like that. Okay, now it will submit and we go the second page. Okay, password is no password, then submit. Okay, now as you can see, we came to another page. And this page comes from where, as we said, from here, it's welcome page, which is from admin's UI. And this is the class of welcome page. We start over here. Look, you always should have package of flutter material.dart, and these things I will explain it right now. So here, let's take a look first. We have admin's UI, which means this page is specific for admin and not for guest, not for owner, not for a member or a manager. It's just specific for admin. And how it logs to the admin, as we said, using the email and the password. Okay, now this class will be extending a stateless widget. Why? Because we have nothing to do. We don't have anything to bring it back. We are just want to see things. Whenever you want to bring back something, then you're gonna need a stateful widget. But now we are not needing it. Like for example, on the main page, while we were entering the inputs and bringing it back to the program and like do conditions with that inputs, so that bringing back of variables and of inputs will need a stateful widget, which we use it here. I just missed to explain it. Like here we have the void main. It's basic and static always. You're gonna have a run app of material app, and inside material app you have home, which is the login page. And this thing is just to remove a banner of debug. Then as we said, the home we have home in material app, and the home is calling login page, and the login page is here, which extends a stateful widget. Okay, then inside that you're gonna have an override to remake everything. Then login page state, which is this one, state of this one, login page state. It create a state of login page state. Okay, login page state you have to define here. Say class login page state extend state of login page, which is this one. Okay, it is just, you can just memorize it, like it's just a pain to understand it unless you try with it very well. Like if you make 10 programs, 20 programs, then you will be good with it. Otherwise you just have to memorize it for now. So just memorize these 6-7 lines, then the rest we will work on them. That's how you make a stateful widget, just like that. Then the rest is same. Okay, we're gonna have another override. For every class we're gonna have an override. That's basic and static always. So we have string of password, string of username, and so on. That's how you do it for the stateful. So for the stateless, we just define these things, and string logged user, which comes from here, logged user, and we're gonna use these things. Okay, let's go on. Now listen, how we get these three variables over here, this username and this password and this admin, how we can transfer it to the second page. We said we're gonna use it with this welcome page inside the submit button, just like that. And we have to define this one and this one and this one inside the second page before, just like that. Okay, after we done that, we should also write this line so that these values will come here. Okay, that's how you get it. You write welcome page, which is the class name, welcome page, then you make these two brackets, then you write this dot the variable name of here, then again this dot password, this dot logged user. And how this works, let me explain. The first one until comma will assign to the first one until comma. Then the second one until comma is for the second one until comma. And the third one same. Here third one same. So you can have as much as variables that you want over here. Let's say 10. And you can have less than 10 here, but you cannot have more than 10 here. Why? Because it makes ambiguity. Like if here you throw 5 variables and here you use 6 variables, so that's not acceptable because you only throw 5 variables, so you cannot use 6. But if you throw 6 variables here and use only 5 here, so the last one will be just useless, but it's not gonna make any problem. So let's go. Now we throw 3 variables. We send 3 variables, so that 3 variables will become here. And at which variable? At these variables. How we did that? By assigning them to these over here. That's how we did. So now the value of SE username is username, and the username is str1, and the str1 which is here is the string that we entered, just like that. For the password the same, but for the logged user as an admin, it is just a manually typing. It's not coming from any input. But why we did it manually? Because whenever you put that email and that password, It's specific for the admin, so you can use it as a static over here. So let's keep going. We will have a widget, build, context. This is all the same. Then we have return of scaffold. That's how you made the program, which is this thing, all of it. Then you're gonna have app bar, which is this black screen over here, which contains admin's UI as an title. Look, app bar, in title. We have a text inside the title, which includes logged user. Look, we say logged user UI over here, but here what we see, it's admin UI. It's not a logged user. That's how it works. So the logged user comes from here, and that one comes from here. This dot logged user. So this logged user comes from here, admin. Okay. So if we use another if for a manager, so instead of admin, we will write manager. So then we're gonna have another page for manager, just like what we have here. Then the logged user would be manager. So this time it will write manager UI, not an admin UI. I think you get the idea. So we have a background color, color.black, which is this black thing. It just looks better. Then we have body container. Containers are always good for using inside body, because inside container you can have as much as and many different other widgets without any problem. So we use it a container which starts from here. This back white ground is all the container, and inside the container we have again padding, which is edge insets dot all. This time we use it all, so that you can see you can use all also. It's by 12 here, 12 here, 12 here, 12 at the bottom. Then we have a child of list view widget. What's list view? If we go back here, which is the first page, let's go back. Here we use it column way. Look, we use it column widget to sort the widgets. Use it column one, like this one, then this one, then this one. That's how we did by column. But in admin page we use it list view. So for list view you don't have to write each row just like separately, because list view will do that sorting by itself from the top of the page to the down. That's the good concept of it. So what it do, it just like putting everything from the top to the down just as a list. Okay, let's keep going. So here we have inside list view, you can use any type of widget inside it. You can use 5 containers. Each container will be represented as a row, 1 2 3 4 5. But here we use it list tile, so that you can know there are many types of widgets. We just try to use most of them. The tile system has like something to represent here, whether you want to be a text or an icon or image or whatever, and one over here and one over here, which we're gonna discuss little while. I mean this one. So 1 2 3, it basically has 3 main properties that you can use. So the leading is the very first one, which we put an image. You can load an image in very quick way, just like that. Image asset, then images, you give the location, then you can give some properties as we did here. this height and width variables are coming from here, so that it can be for everyone in the environment, every variable, and it should be a double, so double height and double width with that point of 0. And then we're gonna do what? We're gonna just load the image, but there's something to know that you should do before loading it, otherwise it's not gonna work. You do 2 steps. First, like if you just write that thing, it's not gonna work. How you do it? Listen, you come to your images, wherever your image is, like, okay, so let's keep it going. So let's say we're gonna want to add another image. How we gonna do it? Now let's just copy and paste this image and destroy the original one. Okay, and here we're gonna delete it also. So just delete. Let me delete everywhere. So we have it over here. Okay. Now let's do it again. If we run the program, let me see how things going. Well, it still works. It might be because of still here. Well, it's not deleting because it's okay anyway. Never mind. I'll just explain how you add an image from the very first. Then first you come here. Let's say this is your image. It's your image. You right click on it and you copy it. Come back to the project. There's always a folder called images. If it's not, you just make it. It's easy. So you right click on it, then you just paste. Then you press refactor. When you press refactor, the page will come, the image will come here, Astro A40.jpg. When it comes here, then you should specify it in the pub spec.yaml. And what's that thing? It's right over here, pub spec.yaml. Double click on it and this page will come. It will come, I think, just like that. You just scroll down, you see this thing. To add asset to your application, add an asset location like this. You should see this one. Then there would be a status. Then you're gonna add it just like that. So we will add it here, images / astro a40.jpg. Then you save it. After you save it, you should do 2 things, 2 steps. First, you press pub get and you wait until it finishes. Then you go to another page, any page, then press get dependencies. Just like that. You're gonna like, you can say publish. It's a publish of the adding image. That's it. Now you can use the image. How? Just like that. Images, which is the folder's name, just here. Where was that? Images. See, we have images. Then we have headset.png. We should have it somewhere. Headset.png. Just like that, you can load the images. Okay. So where was we? It was right here. Okay. So image.asset, then images / headset.png, which is this icon. So you can give some properties, which is the height and width. We made it, everything looks same, so it looks better. Then the alignment is in the center, just to be better. Then we have a title of text. headsets, which is this one. This is the title. Then we have on tab. What's that function do on tab? It's when you press. Look, when you press it, what it should do. So on the press, if you remember, we said if you want to go from a page to another page, we're gonna use push method for the page routing. So on the tab, we use same method, navigator.push. Okay, that means go to that page, and which page? Context of material page route. Then the builder context going through which one, which class? The headsets class. That's the headsets class. Let's see where's headsets class. If we go down, it's still the same page, so we don't have headsets class. You can just define it after that, but to simplify the code, it's better to have many pages just like that. So here we have headsets.dart. Then we have the class of headsets. So there's headsets. That's how it loads. But one thing to know, as long as you have headsets class in another page, you should import that page to the page that's computing it. So that's why we had imported all the pages from here: headsets, consoles, mouses, keyboards, DVD games, everything we have imported, so that we can use their classes and almost the variables, the voids, whatever. In our case, it's just class. Okay, so on the tab, we have navigator.push. For which one? For the headsets. So the headsets comes here. Okay, that's headsets. And here we enter headsets. So we have these things. It's all the same, just repetition. You're gonna have a widget, then you're gonna have a class, then an override for every class, then some properties, then returning scaffold as a bar, body, container, padding, child. We again used list view and list style. We didn't like try to make it very complex. That's why we didn't use it many widgets. So list style, then divider. Let me explain something about divider. So what divider do? That's for the admin UI. Let's go back admin UI. This divider is this black line between two widgets. This black line. How you do it? It's a divider. You just write a divider as a widget. Then it has two brackets. Then colors. You give it a color. Then it has high. Okay, the high is like it only works in horizontal model, so it only have height. What that mean? Let me tell you. We make it 60 and see what happens. It makes a big space over here and over here, and it only works with horizontal because it's a horizontal line, so it only gives space on the vertical way. Okay, so let's just make it as it was. It only works in horizontal module, so it only have high that gives space in vertical way. That's how it works. The thickness is just the thickness of the line. When you make it bigger, it is just will be like a bolt or something big, just like that. Okay. Well, it was one. Okay. Then the ident and end ident. What's that? So it's just for like giving space in the left side. So like it's where the line should start and where the line should end. So the ident is the start ident. You can make it like 50, so that you can see here it left 50 space, then it puts that line, then you can left on the right side too, again 50. So it becomes like that. Okay, so you just redo it just like that. It's better. That was the divider. Okay, so when you press the headset again on the tab, you have a push page which comes here. So which was right over here. Navigator.push for headsets. Then we go headsets, start file. Then we have the class of headsets, which the same way in here, same way of coding. Just we put like over here. We changed that image, and this one is changed, and here we added something like the price. When you go headsets, you can just see the headset types. Like we have K10 Pro at $30, Astro A40 at $220, just like that. And we have go back button to go back, just to go back. Look, for consoles we have go back, for keyboards we have go back, even for going to the main page we have go back. And how this go back works, if we take a look here at the very last, we have erase button, because this is erase button, not a list style. Look, this is a submit button, like the erase button. So the erase button does not have on tab. The list style, let me tell you here, the list style has on tab, but the erase button has on press, because it's a pressing, not a tapping. So on press it, like when you press the go back from headsets, now we are from headsets, when you press go back, what should you do? Look, this go back comes from here, from that text, while the reset button is this button, and it has only a text inside with some functions. So we have something on the preset which is navigator.pop, and what that means, navigator.pop, that means just go back from where you come. So where we come, it was from here. On tab, go to headsets. So we came headsets. Now it says if you press that button, this right button, then you're gonna be popped, which means going back to the previously page that we were coming from, which is this one. So when we press go back, we will come back to admin's UI. And even in admin's UI, at the very last one, we have same thing. Reset button, then navigator.pop, which goes back to where? So the admin's UI comes from where? Comes from the login page. So that's why when it pops, it will go back to the main page. And I think that's it. That's it for now. That's long enough. So as I said, you can do many other things. Like you can come to the page routes from headsets, for example. Here you can add a select button, for example. Here we can make it a tab. We can make a tab over here. Just let me show you how. You go headsets, then we make the K10 Pro just here. This is the K10 Pro. We do the on tab for it. On tab, what should it do? It's like that. Let me check. On the tab, it should do. Let me do it here. On the tab, you can do something with it. Now it has on tab property. For example, when you tap it, you can assign a variable. Let's say cart variable. So we will say cart variable is equal to cart variable plus $30, which is here 30. The price of K10 is 30. So we define cart as 0 over here, just like that. We say int cart is equal to 0, for example, just to know. Then we say cart is equal to cart plus the thing that is tapping. So if you tap it 3 times, so that means you want 3 ones, so it's gonna be $90. And you do the same for all other ones, and at the very last you're gonna have a button over here which says show in cart. For example, when you show in cart, it tells you that all the products you have tapped, the average price for all of them is this, and how you get this from the cart variable. Okay, now let's do something here. We will just leave it like that. Look, from headsets now K10 Pro can be tapped, and the rest it's not. So just like that, you can do as much as you want, as much as you need things. We will just delete it and keep it like that. Now it's not tapping, and that's it. That's enough for now, and I think you got what I wanted to explain it. Thanks.